turn that little dial. There's be a little dial next to where your headphones plug in, and that should be that's your volume. Let me know if you hear.
Yeah.
Zach, do you have an extra pen?
Pen?
Yep.
Yeah, I grabbed one of these.
Thank you.
All right. Perfect. 1 minute, guys. I think we.
Zach minute too.
Yep. Alright, we're recording there. Well, good. Everyone has. You have water.
More heavy on.
Okay, cool. I'll bring that in during a break.
Oh, I didn't grab my, I forgot my headphones like you asked me to bring.
Is that you reckon the knees?
But you want? I grab one of these real quick, or what? I second so.
Okay. Give that to.
There's not a problem. It might help because you can hear the shower and you can hear but the conversation in here, it's.
I think if we're not all gonna do it.
So the only thing that you'll be missing is if the producer is giving comments, which I doubt.
Right, okay, got it. It's all about the hair.
Well, on the radio,
You don't.
Well, I can't, these are all hardwired in.
Not all of them.
Okay, if you can give me a pair, that'd be great.
Hold on. Okay. I got you.
Okay, thank you.
Do you need the adapter?
Yeah. Welcome to live radio. Welcome to the Peak News. I'm Chaim Goldman, the Watchman. You're listening to AM 1460 and FM 101.1, The Answer. And we're excited to have you here on Tuesday, which is our Politics and Government Day. And we have, as our show today, we're suspending our normal formatting because we are doing a candidate forum for the El Paso County GOP Republican chair candidates. And if you don't know about this, what's happening, well, you should if you're interested in politics at all in our county. Vicki Tompkins has been the chair of the Republican Party here for, how long has it been? 7 years? For 7 years, and has decided to step down. And there are 6 candidates who are vying for the position. The election is coming up this Saturday, February 8th, correct? I have that correct. So it's very relevant to what we're doing here. And as far as I know, there are no forums for this. Have you guys been invited? Are there any other forums? Is this a...
There was one, but it was canceled due to weather.
Okay, so canceled due to weather, the forum. So this is the forum, the official forum for those who are interested in this. And who gets to vote in this?
Precinct leaders.
Get close to your mics. Answer.
Precinct leaders.
So it's the entire El Paso County Central Committee, which is somewhere between 450 and 480, depending on what the latest roster is.
So they're going to be getting together this Saturday and voting for chair and the other positions, but we brought in those for chair. Who we have here today, we're going to move really quick because we're going to fit in as much as we can. This is in the ballot order. Ken Davis, Todd Watkins, Tim Bennett, Elizabeth Riggs, who is not able to be here today, and I'll say why. We couldn't get a list of the candidates from the county GOP. But we're a news organization, so we figured it out. We invited Elizabeth to join us just yesterday, and she was not able to change her work schedule to do it. So she is going to be joining us partway through the program to get a 5-minute monologue for her. But otherwise, we have the other 5 candidates here to answer the questions. So here we go. Again, this is the candidates who are running for the El Paso County GOP chair position in the election that's being held this Saturday, February 8th. And we want to start giving each candidate 30 seconds to introduce themselves. First, Ken Davis.
Well, hello, everyone out there in El Paso County. I am Ken Davis. I am running for County GOP Chair. Excited to do so after spending multiple years as a House District Chair here in Colorado Springs, House District 15, which I have served well.
You're done? Only took 20 seconds. Impressive. We've got some time. Todd Watkins, 30 seconds.
My name is Todd Watkins. I am currently the El Paso County Vice Chairman who has been exiled from the office, which is why you weren't able to get a list from the county office, because the chair was actually withholding that information. But I'm a retired assistant chief of the United States Border Patrol, and I want to get Republicans elected in El Paso County and the whole state.
Okay, third candidate, Tim Bennett, 30 seconds.
My name's Tim Bennett. I'm a House District 20 chairman. Similar experience to Kendrick in that way. I'm a retired United States Army officer with 30 years of experience, and I have very personal reasons for getting involved in this race, and just want to see Democrats lose.
Okay. Elizabeth Riggs, again, is next on the ballot, but she was only invited by us yesterday, and it's very hard for some people. She's actually on the other side of the state. We tried to work it out with her to come in, but that wasn't possible for her, so we apologize. But we will be giving her 5 minutes in the third segment of the show today. Next candidate, Colby Zipperer.
Hey, yep, Colby Zipper. I'm currently the chairman for El Paso County Young Republicans. I'm also a Navy veteran and a small business owner here in Colorado Springs. I am running because I'm a little bit upset that our county is not flipping Democrat seats, and we've got 4 Democrats that we got to get rid of.
Okay, and the sixth candidate, fifthly here today, Candace Stutzery, 30 seconds.
Hello, I'm Candace. I've been in Colorado Springs for about 15 years now. Our family retired at Peterson Air Force Base after 32 years of service in the Air Force. I came into the party immediately following the 2020 election, which I was one of the early voices to firmly believe that that election was tampered with. Gradually, it's encouraging to see that the rest of the country has come along to that same conclusion over the last 4 years. I am currently the Canvass Board member, responsible for certifying or not certifying our elections.
Okay. You're listening to The Peak. We have all of the candidates for the El Paso County GOP candidates are here today. We'll be right back. Okay, excellent. We did it. We made it out. Okay, this is a 3-minute break. Okay, we are on Facebook. We are streaming on Facebook. So, sorry about the mics. Please adjust them. They're quite adjustable, and so bring them to you so that it's comfortable for you. Yes. What?
How far from the mic?
When you're speaking, you just want to be 2 inches because they have a very close pickup pattern. But bring it as close to you as you want, so it's comfortable for you. Are you guys? You're good over here. Okay. Anything else? No? Okay, cool. Thank you for being here. So, to review on this question coming up, what is your history of leadership and what will be your #1 goal as chairman to bring success to the county and state Republican Party? We're starting with Tim, then Ken, then Candace, then Todd, then Colby. Good? Okay. Excellent. So we actually, no, we have 3 minutes now. So. If you
That's
wanna,
what you're missing out.
what? Okay, so if you don't have headphones, you don't listen to the commercials.
Is it video only or audio too?
What?
Is it audio and video in the break? Facebook Live?
The Facebook Live is
Is
the
us.
room is us.
Okay.
It's what's on the camera.
Oh, so it's video only.
Well, and audio.
Okay.
I mean, it's putting audio out. It should be. There we go. Yeah, audio's going out.
It's our audio.
It's our audio from here.
Radio listeners
Commercials are running on the broadcast. Whatever we say in here goes out on the Facebook. We can trim front and back on the Facebook when we're done, but we can't go in and pull segments out, which is unfortunate. So we have to do that. I gotta take it, I gotta re-edit it, I gotta re-upload it, and then we lose all, any of the being live part of it and stuff, so. We do some of them, but mostly we just leave it up there and people can get a behind the scenes look at, okay, let's see. I'm told Todd is being blocked by my head. Okay, so when it's your turn, I will back up. Okay. Let me see, can I? But then I'm not in the shot. I'm the host.
Todd has a
Let's see.
face
No.
too pretty to
There we
be
go.
left out, so.
Am I there?
That's what my mom said.
yeah, see.
Okay. Let's see. Okay, that'll work. I'll go over here. Okay. And I'll sit back when you're answering. Okay. That doesn't take the current position. what's really important is I have a coffee sitting in the break room, but I think I can make it.
Getting cold. Well, we've got you. We'll cover you.
What do we got, 1 minute?
He probably knows exactly how long it takes to get there and back.
And that opt-out needs more time.
Where'd you hear that?
Yeah, right? As soon as I saw that, I was like, what the, are you kidding me?
Mm.
No. And I
Or somebody told you that.
Draw somebody, both of you guys, and let me talk about it. It's like,
Right.
Okay, so remember on this one, I'll give you a 1 minute and a 10-second warning. 1 minute is a finger, I'm not like telling you to stop talking.
You know, those
Sometimes
are
people
actually-
go, wait a minute, what am I doing? And
those are
then,
actually the airborne signals, 1 minute and 30
Okay.
seconds.
okay, where am I? Welcome back to the Peak News. I'm Chaim Goldman, the Watchman. You're listening to AM 1460 and FM 101.1. The Answer, and we have suspended our normal format, normal way that we do the show because an election is coming up. Yeah, you thought we were out of election season, but election season never, ever ends. And the Republicans of El Paso County this Saturday, the 8th, are electing their new chair and all of their officers, and so we have created here on the radio a candidate forum for the candidates, and we have all of them here except Elizabeth Riggs. We'll explain that in the next segment. We'll be giving Elizabeth a chance to call in, but the 5 are here: Ken Davis, Todd Watkins, Tim Bennett, Colby Zipperer, and Candace Stutzream. And we are on to our first official question. By the way, we are streaming on Facebook. You can catch us on Facebook Live at Facebook and the Peak News Media. The Peak News Media on Facebook. Okay, we drew, for each question, we drew an order, so this is random, and also these questions were crowdsourced. So I asked a lot of people I know in the Republican Party, plus we put it out on our Facebook page, and so the questions did not come from us, but we brought them together here. So first, Tim Bennett, you're going to be starting. What is your history of leadership, and what will be your #1 goal as chairman to bring success to the county and state Republican Party? You have 90 seconds.
I was a 30-year Army Ranger. I went back and then taught at Ranger School, which is the Army's premier leadership school. I was a Ranger instructor there. I've commanded at multiple levels in the military, up to 1,000 men, and I conducted operations at the theater level. So that would include running the war, or at least the logistics behind the war against ISIS for 90 days, and then conducting those same operations for the entire theater. I was blessed to be able to do this while also a single parent. I could not have done that without the help of my mother and father, and Ashley and Nicholas, if you can hear me. I could not have been blessed with 2 more wonderful children. I think the key to success as far as bringing teamwork back, unity is a big word. I'm not quite sure, based on the hundreds of phone calls that I've made these last few weeks, if we can actually attain unity, but I've already witnessed and know that we can get cooperation. In the most recent election with Rebecca Kelty, there was a team effort. Many of the people in this room, as well as people that I know in the party who have been oppositional, extremely oppositional in the past, were able to work together as a team to be able to get her elected. And that's just something I want to push forward to. I'm a team player, always been a team player, know how to build teams, and that's my goal.
Okay, thank you. Next candidate, Ken Davis. What is your history of leadership, and what will be your #1 goal as chairman to bring success to the county and state parties? 30 seconds.
Well, as I mentioned earlier, I am the House District 15 chair currently. I've been a business owner for the past 24 years as well, so I obviously have to lead a team there. If you've ever heard of Business Networkers International, I've been a director for them, helping hundreds of other small business owners here in Colorado Springs help grow their businesses through referral marketing. And then, of course, some of you, if you've ever heard of Patriot Academy, I've been a Constitution coach, which didn't exist actually when I began doing it. Became a Constitution coach back in 2012. It is an official thing as of 2017. And then I lead the Culture Impact team here at Church for All Nations here in Colorado Springs, where we introduce what is happening in the public square to the body of Christ. And so what am I looking to do? I'm looking to unify the party. I believe we need to be walking in a similar direction. We've not been doing that over the past handful of years, and it's not just in the last 7, it's been that way for a while. But I believe if we create an environment for everyone to find a reason to work together, we can get that done and grow the party here in El Paso County and the state.
Okay, thank you. Again, we're here with the candidates running for a GOP chair here in El Paso County. Candace Stutstream, third, history of leadership and number 1 goal. 90 seconds.
History of leadership. I believe the term an alpha could be applied to me at a very early age. I think I was president of my elementary school at age 11, but by age 21, I was the first woman appointed to the United States Air Force Academy in the year 1976. I also received appointments to West Point and Annapolis. I ended up going through Air Force ROTC instead, where I was the Corps Commander of the largest detachment in the country. My husband's career quickly eclipsed my own, and I spent the next 30 years leading women in volunteer roles as a commander's wife. Everything from leading Bible studies of 80 women to family services before it was a professional occupation. Volunteer service is very important to me and near to my heart. I bring those years of service as a volunteer and as a leader to this role. And my goal, of course, is what the number 1 goal is, and that is to elect Republican candidates, constitutional candidates, to office in Colorado.
Okay, thank you. Next up, Todd Watkins, history of leadership and number 1 goal if you were to be chairman of the El Paso County Republican Party.
As I stated before, I was a Border Patrol agent for 24 years. I spent 13 of those years as a supervisor, manager, staff officer to the National Headquarters Command Staff. I've led tactical operations, led special operations, managed critical incidents. I've even managed and led responses to national disasters. Believe it or not, the Border Patrol sends people out to rescue people in hurricanes. Who knew? I do. Number 1, we need to rebuild, reframe the county party into a professional and competent organization to regain, restore faith and confidence in its members and in the electorate writ large. In order to accomplish any of the other tasks, I agree, we need to bring the party together, we need to get Republicans elected, we need to do all that. First, we have to have a solid foundation that people can believe and trust in before we can move out smartly to any of those other critical objectives. Unfortunately, we're knocked back on our hind foot on this, and we're not really going to be able to start off out of the gate running, doing all these positive forward things until we fix what's been done.
Who has a timer going?
I did.
Okay. Okay, lastly, and this is the candidate forum for the Republican candidates El Paso County, Colby Zipper, history of leadership and number 1 goal that you would have as chairman, 90 seconds.
Yep, so thanks. As a small business owner, I own a State Farm agency here in town, and my business in only 5 years is almost twice as big as the average State Farm agency in the United States. So that right there demonstrates, on the small business level. Politics-wise, we took a Young Republicans organization of 0. There was nobody here in town, and we grew it to arguably around this 200 number. In our WhatsApp alone, we have over 130 people, but we have more than that they're not included in the WhatsApp. And we specifically use them to only target Rebecca Kelty. We knew that we had limited resources, so we were trying to be smart. And as far as leadership, 1, recruiting almost absolute strangers off the street to join our organization, and then targeting them, not spreading them around, but targeting onto one race alone. My number one goal as chairman, will be to flip Democrat seats. There are 4 that need to go out, and so very, very specifically, it's about that to me. Everything else is a supportive role to flipping those seats and getting W's on the scoreboard again.
That's it? Okay. You're listening to the Peak News. We have a special edition today where we have the candidates for the El Paso County GOP, Republican Chair candidates. The election is coming up this Saturday, February 8th, and we have 5 of the candidates here. We have one of the candidates, Elizabeth Riggs, who could not attend, and she will be doing a call-in for 5 minutes in the next segment and making a statement so we could accommodate her. Unfortunately, we did not have the list of candidates until yesterday, and there was not time for Elizabeth Riggs to prepare. You're listening to The Peak. This is the Republican Candidate Forum for El Paso County, and we'll be right back. Okay, 3.5 minute break.
Yep. And then her 5 minutes, correct?
And then her 5 minutes, so. Your ability to hear her while she's talking.
Headphones.
How many, let me see if we can get, what kind of headphones we can get here. What do we have? 1, 2.
If we turn them up
Yeah.
like this,
Yeah,
will that feedback?
not really, but,
Thank you so much.
Right, then.
Okay.
I think it's your glasses, the one that was right across from you, you left it there, right?
Yep.
Okay. Yeah. Did you leave your glass in there?
I did.
Okay, I'll fill that out.
Zach, can we get more headphones for us or some more?
Fun times.
You said you've done this before?
Oh, I've hosted. I'm looking over here, I'm like, where's my timer? Oh, it's only over there.
My first time speaking into a microphone was our launch event, and I remember looking at the microphone and looking at all the people, and like, I don't know, you guys probably talking to microphones all the time, but first time
Have to admit,
Yeah, that's good practice. But then after like 4 or 5 events, it got easier.
They're all different too.
Mhm.
Microphones, some of them were. Plus, I don't. They put the. You know,
Yeah.
but there's the gain, and the gain has to be turned probably way down for this many microphones in the same
Yep.
room. Otherwise, it would probably melt your face. The feedback. Is it the gain and volume are kind of like equal but opposite? Like volume is how loud it's going out. Gain is
Taking the sound in.
is how loud it's going. Yeah.
All right.
I found mine, it was in the camera bag.
No
from
one's
the
talking,
event.
right?
No,
No,
During this one. Is anyone missing a headphones? You guys all have it?
Well, we've
no,
only
we
got
only have 4.
yeah, they can only have a
So
max
what we
of
should
4.
do, since you guys are gonna be muted, is we're gonna just turn the volume really high on that
Well,
one.
yeah, just make sure it's not enough to get on the mic,
Not enough to
but
get on
not
your
enough for
mic.
you to hear.
This is to listen to.
Yeah, to listen to Elizabeth.
So you can, if you're listening, you two are sharing that one, I turn it up.
You don't need to stop.
Okay, guys, we got a minute.
No,
Want
it's
to know
not.
the toughest training
Where
ground?
does it plug in?
Public speaking.
Right in there.
Cisco Pavilions,
Plug in
or,
CDOS in.
Toastmasters.
Okay, and then
Toastmasters.
crank that up with that
They kind
dial.
of woke you up.
So you guys need.
Oh, okay.
And then it shouldn't pick up on this, but
Urban.
Can you confirm that we have her?
yeah, we have that.
You can, I had 7th graders once for a year in Denver.
Can you guys hear with that one for you?
I thought something was wrong with these kids.
Yeah, you two can.
Because I'm not from the city, so I asked them all one day, I said, how many of you been camping before? And none of them raised their hands, and they all kind of sat. So we did makeshift applications, $5 entry fee, whatever, and all of their parents, single parents, most of them moms, dropped them off, and I took them camping with like 7 of my buddies. We were all youth leaders out there. We did hide and seek, we did like guitar, kumbaya around the fire, prayer, like.
Okay, here we go. Welcome back to the Peak News. I'm Chaim Goldman, the Watchman. You're listening to AM 1460 and FM 101.1 The Answer. And no, we will not lie to you. The rest of the media can do that. We're here to bring you the truth. And so we have right from their mouths the El Paso County GOP candidates that are running to be the chair for a 2-year position. Yes, in the El Paso County GOP coming up. We have here with us all of the candidates except Elizabeth Riggs. Unfortunately, we couldn't get a list of the candidates. The Republican Party here would not release it, but we're a news organization, so we figured it out. But she was not invited until yesterday, unfortunately, and could not arrange to be here. But we wanted to give her about 4.5 minutes is what we have in this segment for her to monologue and to just give it to us. So Elizabeth Riggs, you're on the line?
I am. How are you guys?
Okay, great. Thank you, Elizabeth, for calling in. And again, our apologies for not reaching out to you sooner. But you have about 4.5 minutes. When you hear music, please wrap it up. Okay? And so this is Elizabeth Riggs, one of the candidates for the El Paso County GOP chair. Elizabeth Riggs. Please go ahead.
Hi, thanks for having me on your show.
Okay, please go ahead. Whatever statement, whatever you'd like to talk about.
Okay, so one of my main reasons for running for county chair is the unity. I want to promote the unity that has divided this strong-willed group of individuals. No matter if they're right or wrong, it just seems like there's too much going on. But I strongly believe it involves fostering a sense of shared belonging and respect for the differences within the group. I honestly believe we can achieve these through by letting go of what happened yesterday and be a bigger person and apologize, know that you were wrong, we're right, whatever the case may be, but let's start building those bridges right now. I understand celebrating different cultures, the richnesses of each person who brings so much to this group. I want to encourage every individual that is part of the Republican Party and encourage them to understand the perspectives, the beliefs, and the experiences that everyone has to bring to the table. The negative and the evil energy that one person's, or even the clubs and the groups hold a very poisonous diversity that can actually spread throughout our county party, and it has over the last couple of years under Chairwoman Tompkins. I want to create a safe, shared space where individuals can share their stories, perspectives without judgment. We must promote an open dialogue and have a mature respect for everybody. One of the things that I think we need to focus on as well is the transparency issues that we've been having with our treasury reports, our finances. It hasn't worked the way Vicki has wanted everybody to make an appointment, and I believe that we need to have that open communication, and I'm willing with whoever the vice chair and the secretary is, that we have an open communication with everybody on board, everybody that is part of the team, to be able to review those records at any given time. Look, I understand that there's a lot going on within our party, but this whole backstabbing, rhinos, establishment, that needs to stop. We're one, we need to work together as Americans, as Republicans, and help support those Republican candidates that are running for El Paso County.
1 minute, 1 minute.
1
minute left.
They can't get elected without our help, and we need to get on board. I have a lot more to add, but come see us on Saturday, introduce yourself, and let's change El Paso County. Thank you.
You still have about 30 seconds or so. Tell us about your experience in leadership and your number one goal if you were to be chair.
Okay, so I was the secretary for the GOP in 2019-2020 during the height of COVID, which caused a lot of issues and a rift with the chair. I ran for state representative for House District 17 this past year.
10 seconds. 10 seconds. Okay, we're out, sorry, we're out of time. Elizabeth Riggs running for party chair of El Paso County. When we come back, the other 5 candidates running for the chair position. We'll be right back on the Peak. Okay, this is just a 2-minute break, and we're on segment 4. Can you turn those down or put them on, or, okay, so this is your 2-minute question. Okay, so I will again give you a 1 minute. Does anybody want a 30-second, or is 1 minute and 10-second been okay for everybody?
I think we're doing fine.
1 minute and 10 second, and then a 10-second?
Oh, yeah.
That's been good for everybody? Okay, so I won't give you a 30. So what does unity look like in the currently very divided El Paso County Republican Party, and how do you propose to achieve it? Todd is first, Tim is second, Ken is third, Candace is fourth, Colby is fifth. Good? Everybody good? Okay, we got about a minute till we're
I'm sorry,
back.
third or fourth?
You're fourth.
Oh,
You're-
okay.
Okay, under a minute. Let me make sure they're clear.
See how when you're up in front of a bunch of urban teenagers, man, they look at you like you're an alien. And you just,
Thank you.
absolute proving ground.
All good.
Thank you. You don't talk to them, man, you just talk to anybody.
Like 4 foot high, I think that they're
Yep.
smarter than you.
Yeah, we have us all the way up to 18. 500
Okay,
youth
15
every
seconds.
week. 500 youth.
15 seconds, and Todd, you're up first.
Whereas like when you're maintenance, so kind of like, I think it's important.
Welcome back to the Peak News. I'm Chaim Goldman, the Watchman. You're listening to us on AM 1460 and FM 101.1, The Answer. And on today's program, we have a special episode. Actually, it's a 2-parter, but we'll let you know about that coming forward, because we couldn't possibly cover it all. But we have 5 of the candidates for the El Paso County GOP, the Republican chair. That the election is coming up this Saturday, the 8th of February. And we have here in the studio with us Ken Davis, Todd Watkins, Tim Bennett, Colby Zipperer, and Candace Stoltream, and we just had Elizabeth Riggs, who could not be here, but she was in the last segment. So we're on to our second full question. Todd Watkins is up first. Todd, what does unity look like in the currently very divided El Paso County Republican Party, and how do you propose to achieve it? You have 2 minutes.
Thank you. So I'll start off with what unity isn't. Unity is not purity. It's not purity of thought. It is not purity of agreement. And it is absolutely not a homogenized worldview predicated by a select few strong personalities or leaders. Republicans, we're a lot different than Democrats, right? I don't think that we have a hive mind like we've seen our Democrat opponents, counterparts, whatever proper noun you want to use for that group over there. But we are heterogeneous in thought. I don't think there's a singular orthodoxy for Republicans, other than the tenets, the foundation of our platform, with smaller government, more freedom, be individual, rugged American individualism. That's a great place to start. Somehow we got to purity of thought, purity of action, purity of direction. So, in the spirit of a more collegial kind of mindset, I believe that we debate. We have open discussions about how to do things. That's usually where we get hung up on. It's not necessarily the whats or the whys. It's often the how. How do we accomplish something? How do we move forward? How do we execute those tasks that we have to execute? And I think we have to open it up to the broader, the big tent of ideas, and entertain all of them, and without a forceful personality positing one singular point of view for how the party acts, how the party thinks, how the party conducts itself.
Okay, thank you. That was Todd Watkins. Next, too, is Tim Bennett. What does unity look like in the Republican Party? How do you propose to achieve it?
The first thing that I would say is that we, what Todd said, parrot off what he said, is that we have to acknowledge that we're not always going to agree, but we also have to acknowledge that everyone has a place. Again, I'm bringing up Rebecca Kelty, and were it not for Dave Williams and Terry Carver and Larry Liston working at least towards a common goal, she would not have been elected. And those people are not always the people that agree, but they were able to cooperate towards a common goal. That being said, we have to have a party and a chair that we can be proud of. You accomplish that with being above and beyond reproach at all times, and ensuring that you don't have too many associates and or friends that are too close, because you create the perception of partiality. We have to bring decorum back to our meetings. We have meetings that sometimes are like, family fights at Thanksgiving. We just can't continue to do that. The other thing is that we have a sense of urgency. 2020 election is coming up. There's no time to teach for, if there's a lack of experience or, internal party dynamics, we have to start on the 9th because otherwise in 2026 we're not going to see success. We have to rally around things like parental rights, and events. I talked to Jeff Crank. We talked about pickleball with politicians. We have to develop a relationship with the media and invite them to our events. And then we have to export our success across the state. If we just win in El Paso County, the Democrats still have an untenable majority in the House. The only way that we can actually truly push conservatism is to not only have success here in El Paso County, but to export that elsewhere. I've looked at Teller County, Weld County, Pitkin County, etc., and looked at races there that we can help them with, and then they can help us as well. And I think if we can do all those things, we'll have success.
Okay, you're listening to the Republican candidate forum for El Paso County, running for chair of the Republican Party here. Next up is Ken Davis. Ken, what does unity look like in the party here, and how do you propose to achieve it? You have 2 minutes.
Well, unfortunately, it doesn't look like what it's been. We can't continue to go out and fight our battles through the media and the press. The best way I've learned as a father is the best way to solve issues in a family is to keep it in the family. So we need to start going to each other with our issues. The Bible talks about if you have an issue with your brother, then you go to your brother. We're not doing that. We're going to our cousins, and we're putting our business in their hands and allowing our battles to happen out in the public square. So that's one thing we need to eliminate, and I intend to foster an environment where people are willing to go have the conversations with one another and let's figure it out together. How do I propose that, or at least to bring the work in? I believe that we should give people an opportunity, create an environment for people to work together. So, most people have their one issue that's really their one big thing they want to get involved in. Now, why don't we create an opportunity for people to get involved in that one thing and bring along partners, those that are already within the party that also have a similar passion for that issue, and let them work together. And for those that don't get on board with that, when they start seeing success, they'll join. They'll come together and want to work with what they see, because people love being part of something that is successful.
Okay, thank you, Ken Davis. Next up, Candace Stoltream. What does unity look like in the currently very divided El Paso County Republican Party, and how do you propose to achieve it? 2 minutes.
I think I have a different view of unity. I think it's a whole lot more than just being on our best behavior and minding our manners. I think the differences between the factions of our party, and there are many, I could count as many as 4, they are deeply entrenched because people feel very strongly. That's why they're motivated to be in a party like ours in the first place. so they're not easily willing to yield ground on these issues. I believe that the secret to unity is to finding goals that transcend the differences. And my favorite example of this is my relationship with Steve Schleicher. Steve, as you know, is a county clerk and recorder, and I work with him on the canvas board. Steve, we all know we're really on different sides of the party. I am the tinfoil hat wearing election denier, and everybody knows it. And on the other hand, he is the proud of his brand new Dominion suite. So nevertheless, I write scathing reports to him as in my minority reports, and we have collectively come together to understand that we're both better for everything that we learn together, and that bled over into our mutual goal to eradicate ranked choice voting in the state of Colorado. And we now have an incredible relationship because we realize things like election integrity and ending ranked choice voting are issues that are way beyond the things that separate us. And we can get motivated about that, and I believe we're looking at that right now. Ranked choice voting is coming back. It's going to take every one of us to prevent this from taking out our party. Thank you.
Okay, you're listening to the candidates for the chairmanship of the El Paso County Republican Party election coming up this Saturday. Last up on this question, Colby Zipper, what does unity look like in the party, and how do you propose to achieve it? 2 minutes.
Thank you. I'm going to use a football analogy. So I'm a Florida Gators football fan, and when our team is not winning, there is not unity. I believe that unity comes with winning, so you're going to see a common theme from me, that is flipping seats. I'll probably say that as an answer to almost every single question, because to me, it's about winning football games. It's about flipping seats. Unity will happen, I believe, on all, there's, I don't know, 5 different sides of this party, it seems like, and they all have their favorite issue and their alliances and their loyalties. I believe that if we have that vision of there are 4 Democrat seats, and even if I lose, I would really like for everybody to pick this up. There's 4 Democrat seats in this county. All of them need to become Republican. All of them should be conservative, and so that's gonna be, in my opinion, the thing that unifies us. When 2 years from now, if I get elected, we do flip 2 of those Democrat seats, I believe that everybody's gonna start feeling a little bit different. We're gonna feel like a victorious team, and you will see more unity through the victory. And then if I accomplish that, we're going to continue to flip the remaining 2 seats. I'm promising that we flip all 4 of those Democrat seats by 2028. You will see unity, you will see excitement, you will see people fired up again when we start winning. So that's where I think unity comes from. How do we do that? 1, 2, 3. So 1, we fill all the precinct vacancies, all of them. Some people say that that's naive to think it can be done. I know that it can be done. We must recruit to every single one of them. And again, if I'm not the chair and one of you becomes chair, then that needs to be a priority for everybody. Fill those seats. Number 2, 100% precinct leader occupation. Yep. And number 3, flip the seats.
Thank you all. We are having a forum for the El Paso County GOP Republican Party chairmanship. The election is coming up this Saturday, February 8th. It's going to be voted on by the Central Committee? By the Central Committee. You may not be part of the Central Committee. This may not be something that you think directly involves you, but it does, because this is the dominant party of the county, and we've seen that personalities do matter. You're listening to The Peak, and we'll be right back with our last question for this show. We'll be right back. Okay, we have 3 minutes.
Yeah, and if you choose to, you can mention the fact that folks can come as observers.
They can be what?
They can come as observers.
Observer, anybody can.
Yes.
Okay.
What's the capacity of the main sanctuary?
Where's it happening?
CFAN,
Okay.
Northeast.
Wait, that gives you a home field advantage.
I
That's
know.
not fair.
It's not like all my church is going to be there.
Hey, you never know. It's like when the Super Bowl ends up being played in the town, right, in one of the 2 teams. Yeah. You don't know. Okay.
How much time do we have?
This is going to be 1 minute.
No.
Oh,
before we come out of the break.
2 minutes, but you're on,
Okay.
you're on Facebook.
Not that this isn't all that necessary, but it was not originally, it was supposed to be held at Doherty.
Doherty, right.
And Jenkins Middle School, they found issues with the foundation.
Oh, it's cracking and sinking into the earth or something like
And
that.
so they moved
To
all those
Doherty.
kids to Doherty,
Gotcha.
and Doherty backed out.
Yeah.
It's just too much for them to handle.
And so
Yeah, understand.
with all of you who were at the inauguration, including the current chair, with everything that was happening, they were scrambling.
Okay.
They were scrambling.
Okay, so final questions. Will you take any endorsing or opposing position regarding the Republican candidates in the assembly or primaries? And will you assist every Republican candidate in general election in El Paso County with positive statements, finances, walkers, and other helpful campaign activities? Should I cut the end off that question and just leave it more open-ended, or do you like that? Do you like it as is, or should I cut off
I think
after
we can
county?
And stop at general election period.
Well, general election in El Paso
Yeah.
County,
Yeah.
okay. Okay, and, we're back in 1 minute. Order is Colby 1, Todd 2, Tim 3, Candace 4, Ken 5. And then I will thank you very quickly, and, I have a 3-minute commercial, and then I have a 2-minute close to the show. So you're welcome, and then we'll take a little bit of break while I redo the script, and we'll open the door and air the room out, because it's getting a little warm in here. But once we go to this commercial, if you want to, you don't need to stay here. I mean, we'll still be airing, obviously, but you have a break at that point, because I just have to close the show. Okay, we're back in 30 seconds.
I'm disappointed that everyone didn't get the memo.
You know, I actually,
Which, oh,
can,
I wear this on Tuesdays on my government politics day, so. Okay, we're back in 10 seconds.
I'd actually formulated an answer on that question with finances, walkers, et cetera, and included those.
So you want me to include that?
Yeah,
Okay, then
unless
I will.
anybody else is.
Then I'll
voting
keep it
any
as,
of
I'll keep
those.
it as this.
Okay. I don't try to be a sticky person. In a minute, 2 minutes.
Welcome back to the Peak News. I'm Chaim Goldman, the Watchman. We are spending this hour, and we're going to be recording a show that we're playing in 2 days with 5 of the 6 candidates for the El Paso County GOP chairmanship, the election coming up. It's actually going to be at CFAN starting when? Do we know what time?
7 a.m.
7 a.m. at Church for All Nations North Campus, and even if you're not part of the Central Committee of Voting, you can come as an observer. Okay, this is our final question for this program. We're going to be doing a second one, and they have 1 minute each. Will you take any endorsing or opposing position regarding any Republican candidate in the Assembly and primaries, and will you assist every Republican candidate in the general election in El Paso County? For example, with positive statements, finances, walkers, and other helpful campaign activities. First up, Colby Zipper.
Yep, so I had an
1
opportunity.
minute.
Okay, yeah, I had the opportunity over the summer to co-host the congressional debate for CB5 between Jeff Crank and Dave Williams. At that time, I recognized that both of these individuals were highly respected in the community, but from different groups. So when we held that debate, you can see on our Facebook page, there's a picture of me and 30-something young Republicans. They're all part of the El Paso County community, with Dave Williams on our left and Jeff Crank on our right. We did not pick a position, and when press approached me and asked, as the chairman, who do I want to win, I told him, I said, hey, that's not a question I can answer. I'm the chairman. I'm going to stay neutral on this, but whoever wins, we're going to fully support. So then, as far as like supporting people in the general election, when that happens, I don't care if it's somebody that I might not like in real life. Oh, I ran out of time.
10 seconds.
Oh, okay. That I might not be friends with in real life. If they are my Republican candidate, I'm going to support that person fully. As far as I think the 1 minute's too small.
I
So,
know.
yeah.
Okay, we're out. Next up, Todd Watkins. Will you take any endorsing or opposing position in the Assembly and primaries? Will you support every Republican candidate in the general?
Second part first. Absolutely yes, and that goes to what I said earlier, that we have to have a healthy and robust organization in order to provide that support to the candidates. If you have nothing, there's not much that you can give. To the first part, that's actually what got me kicked out of the office. That is where the chair and I broke ways, is she took sides in the primary elections and I objected to it. It's actually against our bylaws to do this. And we see what the result is. So absolutely not. The primary is the place for the voice of the people to come through, and then it is our job as a party to then support those candidates who come out of the primary in the general election and get get Republicans elected. And what is it, Colby? Flip seats.
Flip blue seats.
15 seconds. Are you done? Okay. Next up, Tim Bennett. Will you take any opposing or endorsing position in the assembly or primaries, and will you assist every Republican candidate in the general election?
Absolutely, I won't, but I would say to go along with that is that you cannot have your finger on the scale of any candidate in the conduct of caucus and assembly. Just taking a position is only part of that equation, but you have to do nothing that is going to influence those. The next thing is, as far as finances and walkers, we have unlimited wants and limited resources. That's the first law of economics. And we have to go back through and efficiently use our resources. HD 20, I'm the chair up there. We really don't need a lot of help. But 18, Jim Boland's needed a lot of help. He probably didn't get a whole lot. I know he didn't get a lot. And we may have been able to flip one of those seats if he had. To go along with that, as far as providing support goes, if you have leadership that is focused on motivation and encouragement, when the campaigns make requests, we can provide whatever resources we can. However, it is not the job of the campaigns, or it's not the job of the party to create walking programs for candidates, rather to support candidates.
Okay, you are listening to 5 of the 6 candidates for the El Paso County Chair position, 2-year term. General Committee,
Central
Central Committee is going to be voting on that this Saturday. Final, what do we have? Number 4, Candace Stutzereem. Will you take any endorsing or opposing position regarding Republican candidates in the assembly or primaries? And will you support every candidate in the general election? 1 minute.
This is actually the question of the hour. Last week, there was a state central committee Zoom call held discussing this very question. There were 6 amendments in play, and this was amendment number 1. This very idea of, do we take an endorsing or opposing position on candidates before the primary? Todd is absolutely right. Right now, our bylaws are written to remain neutral. That hasn't always been the practice in a day-to-day operation, but that is the way the bylaws are written right now. The State Central Committee is making suggestions that we change the bylaws so that the chairs of these individual districts and jurisdictions can indeed weigh in on preferences for the candidates before the primary and after, even to the point of actually opposing certain candidates, particularly for petitioning onto the ballot. Now, we're not going to change anything here in El Paso County until we change the bylaws first. So my take on this is follow the bylaws as long as they are our bylaws.
Okay, and lastly, Todd what are we doing here? Ken Davis. Sorry, I crossed out the wrong one. Ken Davis, will you take any endorsing or opposing position for candidates in assembly and primaries? Will you assist every Republican candidate in the general election?
Okay, probably gonna get some grief over this. I agree. We need to follow the bylaws as written today, and any movement outside of that needs to be changed by the committee, by the assembly, not by a single person. I believe the chairperson is a representative of the county, and whatever decision or vote that they provide at the state level should be representative of the majority of those that are members of the committee. And so until the bylaws are changed, I don't believe that it is right for a chairperson or a county party to take a position, or the state party for that matter. As far as what will happen with supporting candidates, once the candidate has won their primary, we need to support them as a party in whatever that looks like for their need. And obviously, I'm in House District 15, not a big need.
Okay, that is it for this show. We're going to be doing a part 2 right after this. Thank you, Ken Davis, Todd Watkins, Tim Bennett, Colby Zipper, Candace Stutzereem, and Elizabeth Riggs. I'm Chaim Goldman, the Watchman, and we'll be right back to close out the show. Whew, that was tight.
Good job.
Do you have the hard breaks?
What?
Do Do you have?
Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
oh, yeah, these are
Yeah,
computer programmed, I get cut.
I've actually got almost an organic rhythm whenever I'm on with Richard Randall. I know, I know where they are. I can tell when
After
it's
doing
coming.
this 4 days a week for over a year, yeah, it's wired into me.
Why don't you have a golden microphone?
What? Somebody wanna buy me one? Have I really achieved that status? You can talk to my general manager, let's see,
Oh, really?
let's see.
Because somebody else
Okay.
had one. He was fairly successful.
Yeah,
Yeah.
not yet,
You are the gold man.
I am the gold man, yes, I have the Goldman microphone. Okay, so, we are, let's see, 3 minutes, 2 minutes, so about 5 or 6 minutes, the show will be over, and then I'll print out the scripts and we'll come back in, and on that one, we don't have to do the commercials, so we'll roll through it. And
Are we being recorded or anything? I had a
Yeah,
question.
this is on Facebook
I
now,
had a question.
so until,
Probably not
but
appropriate.
I can't stop the feed.
It's okay.
But you can ask me at the break, I'll be turning this off at the break.
It
So.
has to do about radio down south. And I was gonna ask you about that book behind you too.
Which one?
Conservatism, a zoning?
Okay, these are books that Salem, they divested from it, but they had a book publishing regularly.
Have you read that?
So,
one?
no, these were put in here as when they, as
They're
a set,
props, is
they're
that what that
props,
is?
yeah. About 4 months ago, they turned the studio into a video studio also, because some of our clients do that, so they added, all this. They added the,
So yeah, there's some
Props.
very interesting looking books back there, but
Yeah.
it would be.
well,
wrong
not
to-
here, but if you want, there's bookshelves out there, and you can grab books off there if you
I
want.
was just curious if you had read them.
No.
If you could give me a.
No, I have a book list of things that I try to go through, and this isn't, these aren't, there's just too many. But if you wanna see if there's a copy out there, you could, if it would interest you, you can take it.
So can we get a commitment from you? How about
Or-
that?
what?
Whoever wins, that you make sure to work with us with,
Yeah.
whatever it might be that we need help with.
That's what I do.
That goes without
I
saying.
it goes without saying, I work with everybody. The question is, will people work with me?
Well,
That's
easy.
really, well, it's not so easy. So that's really the question, is there are certain people that won't come on or do so. I'll work with everybody, that's my job.
Okay.
Okay, so I just gotta close out the show. Woo! Okay. That was a whirlwind of an hour. I'm Chaim Goldman, the Watchman. You're listening to The Peak, and this was a special edition having a candidate forum for those candidates who are running to be the chair of the El Paso County Republican Party. The election is coming up this Saturday, the 8th. It's going to be at Church for All Nations North Campus. And even if you're not part of the Central Committee that is voting, you are invited to be there starting at 7 a.m. as an observer. So you know what, folks, elections never end. They're really important. Who runs the county party here is very, very important, as we've seen over the past 7 years with Vicki Tompkins, love her, hate her, and anywhere in between. She is stepping down and a new chair is stepping in, and there will also be other officers there to hopefully work together with them. Now, we couldn't possibly handle this topic in 1 hour. So as soon as we're done with this live broadcast, we are recording a second hour with these 5 candidates who are here. And again, Ken Davis, Todd Watkins, Tim Bennett, Colby Zipper, and Candace Stutstream, also Elizabeth Riggs, who is not here, but wanted to mention her name. And we are going to be playing that instead of our live show. It will be our pre-recorded show coming up this Thursday, February 6th. It will also be released then on Facebook, as we've been streaming this on Facebook, on our Facebook page for The Peak News Media, The Peak News, yes, Media. After that, to do that, tomorrow is Faith and Family Wednesday, and we have James Gagnon of Rocky Mountain Bibles, and we're going to be talking about about how old books are restored and why he is passionate about restoring Bibles specifically. Coming up next here on The Answer is the Larry Elder Show, and go to thepeak.news for everything The Peak. Become a citizen journalist, an intern, a sponsor, a guest. This is citizen journalism here. This is why we have the candidates on. And check out our pushing 200 podcasts that we've done over the year plus at thepeak.news. The Peak, we say the quiet stuff out loud for such a time as this. Shalom. Okay, we're out.
Are we off?
Let me turn this. Nope, we are not. Let me make sure. And live video. And there. Let me give this to my. The restroom, grab coffee, water. Zach, here, make sure we're off roll.
Do you want to live stream this one too?
No. Here, label